Hey YouTube. Hey YouTube. Hey YouTube. Okay, just wanted to make sure I was completely live this evening. Hey YouTube. It's your girl Duchess here for our Sunday dinner chat. I hope everybody's doing well this evening and preparing for this week. Whatever that looks like for you. I don't know if that's a work week or a leisure week for you. I'm not really sure, but I wanted to get into some topics and, um, the kind of goal for these lives is just to open the discussion, talk about what's going on in the streets, topics that are top of mind, and just really give us an opportunity to dialogue. So if you're able to catch the live, I'd love for you to come up and let's just get into the conversations and have a chat. So, the first thing I wanted to talk about is so Trump was, what should I be? Let me be respectful. Ex President Donald Trump was blasted at his latest campaign rally, and in looking at what the response is, some people think that it's kind of like a ploy, you know um that it was staged, and then some are very empathetic and concerned about the state of the political climate, really, and what someone may be resorting to in terms of trying to, go ahead and take him on up out of here. I'll be honest, it does challenge my moral compass. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. It does actually challenge my moral compass. I was just like, oh, okay. You know, a part of me is giving Scandal, Olivia Pope, like ever since I've seen Scandal, y'all, I don't put anything past the staging of it all. But I do hope that he is well and that whatever happens with this election is, that he's able to be there, be present for it. I don't want to see anyone go out like that. Although it would alleviate some of my concerns. Am I the only one concerned about am I the only one concerned about Trump's, like this election year? Hey Jay, everyone say hi to From Jay's View. She is a YouTube creator, content creator, doing really well on her channel. She's quickly becoming kind of like my sister channel. Um, I love supporting her. I love catching her lives. So hi, Jay. Thank you so much for popping in, girl. And you can come up here and chat it up with me too. I won't stop asking you all that. But thank you so much for coming in. Um, so I'm just gonna leave her comment up here for a moment, probably for the rest of the chat as we get into it, because Jay and I be talking in our lives. But so with this Trump thumping situation that just happened, I thought I'd bring it to the table about, are there any concerns about this upcoming election? The president election is coming up this year. You you ironing. Um Jay says she's sitting there ironing. She be watching YouTube and just doing all her tasks, and I love it because that's the premise of this channel, just to kind of get some. I kind of like the radio spiel, Jay. I kind of like the radio spiel. I like to feel the energy in the room. It's so much stimulation out there. So, um, yeah, I'm not trying to do too much visual stuff. We want to see how that works for me, but I may change it. So, Jay, what about the election? with that's coming up. I can say what I'm concerned about. I get, all the concerns about us, President Biden and maybe sleep on the job. But y'all, what else do we have? I don't know if anyone's did any research into the Project 2025 plan if Trump gets back into office. It's giving setting the U.S. up for an episode of Handmaid's Tale. If you guys ever seen that, um, you know that the show that populates on Hulu. But what concerns me is a repeat of the way that it was when he was in office. Like the racial climate was really tight. Um, it seemed that Trump supporters were more brazen in their racially motivated attacks. So, um, I'll never, ever, ever forget Ahmaud Arbery. I'll just never forget Ahmaud Arbery, who was the gentleman down there near Macon, and what happened to him. But it seemed like with him in office, that is my first concern is how brazen those attacks were becoming. And it's like I don't know. I'm not gonna put that on him that was something that he encouraged. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying the representation of him in the office it gave a sense of bravery that was getting pretty heated until COVID happened, because COVID happened during that period. The other thing is kind of like what have we seen since he was in office? Some of the policies that he had put in place, because he elected the people that overturned Roe versus Wade. He elected those people, like he put those people in office, so that happened. The affirmative action that has been reversed, if that is my understanding. And I'm not a very big political person. I don't get into politics like that, not like the broad stream of it. I like the local politics sector, really. But I can tell you this, the last election when Georgia flipped the state blue, I was really, really involved, calling people, going out and speaking to people. It was kind of like boots on the ground for me. And it was mainly because I just wanted him out of the office because of that climate. So, with that happening, with this happening, with this, this blasting of him of all, it's mixed reactions. Like it was staged, but I also understand that someone may have been hurt, or may even been unalived in this situation, or a few people hurt. So I hope that wasn't a staging. But I mean, if I'm honest, I can't, get Olivia Pope and Scandal out of my head. I know that things can be orchestrated, so I don't really know. But um, I just thought it would be a good opportunity to encourage, to look over. I mean, I don't know which candidate you're supporting. And, historically, this isn't something that we talk about, but I think we need to get away from that, you know? I think we do need to talk about some things because he got in the office the first time and I did not expect that. But if you can tell, I don't want him in office. I really don't. I really don't want him in office. And I mean, my my bonus mother and I, which is like one of my best friends' mom, she and I have some very Jay, so am I, girl. If I can figure out a way to vote 3 times, I probably shouldn't say that. But yes, I am voting Biden all day. And like we talk about prayer and really praying about it. And she is incessantly praying about it. And I really need to put it on the table, like go in the prayer closet and put it on the table, because I just really don't want to see that. And Jay, I agree with you. Things were more racially charged and extremely brazen during that time. And I think that's the biggest thing, because we know that, or I've heard rumblings that, president candidates can only run twice, right? Like they can only serve 2 full terms. And he, as we've learned, that they have no problem changing laws. Um, and the brazen of it all with the lawmakers, and when there's corruption, we're seeing that here down in Georgia, the power that these people yield. And so I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to change the laws where he could just stay in there until he's done, and his and it's no longer a people's election. So I really think that we need to wake up and get in there and vote, just to protect what little bit of great things that we have about the US in terms of our choices and stuff. Because I'm concerned for the children. Like, I'm concerned for our lineage. I'm concerned for my grandchildren. Like, what will this, country look like for them to live in, Um, so I just thought it'd be a good idea to bring that to the forefront. Project 2025, I don't understand all of it, but it is a lot of changes in it. And it does not look great just from a surface lens. So, and there are a lot of people that do not want Biden back in office. And it's like, who is the replacement candidate? And my brother and I were having a conversation where he was saying that, like the talks in barbershops and things like that, whereas Black men are very conservative in the sense of having, if something was to happen to the president, and having Vice President Kamala Harris step in and run, the country. So it's all of those things that play into place, and the intrusive thought that I just fought out. I'm still going to share it. The ignorance of it all. That's just giving everything that's at stake, um, and how high the stakes are this election. For that to be a thing, to want him in office, is just mind boggling to me. So I'm concerned, I'm concerned. And, I won't speak freely on that, but I'll just say that I wasn't too concerned about the attempt. I'll just put it that way. Um, I just wasn't too concerned about it. So, our next topic, dinner plate. I'm going to show you guys this picture. I don't know if you, so I was doing a review watching Divorcing the Black yesterday, and I was cooking, and I made some black eyed peas, y'all. I'm going to show y'all a picture of my black eyed peas. Just hold on one moment. I tried a different recipe, just like being all willy nilly. This is not a great picture, but don't that look good? Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. So I made some black eyed peas, and I put, but I don't know what type of diet, everyone's on, but I kind of follow maybe I would say a 90%, 92% plant-based diet. I am not vegan at all, but the amount of meat and dairy, well, I don't do any dairy at all, but the amount of meat and eggs that I do is very minimal, like very, very minimal. Um, but I made some black eyed peas, y'all, and I like a salty sweet kind of combination. And we have a pear tree. So, and I cut up some pears and put pears in there, and some kale and some onions and celery. And when I tell you, them peas was busting with some cornbread, oh my goodness, they were busting. So I just wanted to show that to y'all and open up the topic of diet. Trump versus a woman. I did. Um, Now you learn how to insert. Hey, girl, I did. Now don't get me, Jay. Look, don't get me over there in that screen sharing situation and putting up different things like how you guys and De Silva do. Mm-mm-mm. I'll get there though. Um, I'll get there. So you have completely switched over to plant-based? You have too. Okay, okay. Um I can tell you when I started doing it, like I started to feel better. Like I started to feel better. I was doing it for fitness, but the way that my body was feeling, it has really afforded me to kind of, like, I can tell. I'll click and present at the bottom of your screen. I tried it and let me see. So present, like, share screen. Is that what you're saying? I'm gonna do it right now on this live. I'm gonna see what shows up. Oh, you cooking some, girl, I love me some collard greens now. Um no, I ain't gonna do it. I think what scares me about doing the share screen thing, I don't know if you remember when I did that live and it was completely no audio and I was trying to do it in that live. Okay, I'm gonna try it at the end of this, before I go, because I know most people won't watch this to the end if they're watching anyway. Um, but I'm gonna try it at the end. So just, to see if I can make it work. Because I do want to get into that part of it. Working on my little studio now. But I started the plant-based thing and I can kind of tell when my body is not, like, um digesting well, you know? Cuz I'm going to be completely honest. The way that the say something about sharing the audio too. Okay, okay. I'm gonna try it, Jay. I'm gonna play around with it at the end of this just to kind of, and then I can go back and watch it and see exactly what I did because it'll probably be just you and I watching this live. But what I was saying. Okay, so I have about 16 pounds to lose, and I'll be back to my size before I had my son while I was in the military. Like I'll be back to kind of like that size, that framework. Um, so that's like my goal, and then I may drop another 5, 6 pounds. That's how you was this morning. Oh, you were on live this morning, Jay? I was completely checked out of all social media today. I have to go back and I'll have to go back and check it. I will definitely want to catch your live. I hate I missed it. But so when I first started doing the plant-based stuff, I you know, kind of like a lot of the processed food, the lunch meats. I love the hot dogs. The hot dogs, I love them. I think it's light life or something like that. And then Morningstar makes a bacon that's in the freezer section. It's better than the one that's in the refrigerator section. It tastes just like bacon. Oh my goodness. So I was doing a lot of the manufactured kind of stuff, which is great. I don't have any, like, negative nothing about that at all. um with it, but I wanted to elevate a little bit more. And so I started researching eating for my diet, which your blood type diet. So mine is the O diet. Um, and that diet allows you to have a little bit of beef. They just want you to have it farm raised, and it kind of talks through that. So it's essentially the plant based, no dairy, no meat, except for you can have beef. It encourages beef just in small amounts. And so that's pretty much the diet that I follow. But I mean, when I have beef, it may be, I mean, it's typically a burger. Um, and it may be something like once a month or once every few months. It's not often at all. Um, the fish, like, it doesn't, catfish and shellfish, shrimp, and crabs and things like that. It discourages against that. But different fish like flounder, um, whiting, I can't remember another one, but I like flounder because it's a very meaty fish, and I kind of grew up on it. And when I tell you that eating from that diet, even having that little bit of meat or whatever, like pounds just kind of shred. My energy goes through the roof. I feel better. And so if you can do some research into your blood type, if you're looking for weight loss, the book, it gives you the diet and then it gives you the diet for weight loss. And I can attest to that works when I'm disciplined. I'm not always disciplined. But I think plant-based is the way to go. I could eat a pot of beans and rice and I mean, I love it in cooking, using tofu as the meat. I've learned to make chicken tenders. I've learned to make General Tso's fried rice. Uh, you're O positive. I'm O positive too. Um, I can send you, Jay. I don't know if you have that information, but I mean, I have it all written down somewhere. I'll send you an email if you don't have the book. I think your email is on your YouTube. So give me to like midweek or so to locate everything that I've written down because I wrote it all down, everything that's allowed and not allowed. I can send it to you because I'm O positive as well. But what has really allowed me to kind of stay in a safe weight zone, I don't weigh myself all the time at all. I probably haven't weighed myself in about 6 months. I just kind of gauge how I'm looking, how my clothes are fitting, like that sort of a thing. And I'm doing a lot of weight training. So I walk and I do weight training. And when I say weight training, I mean just like squats and, body weight because I'm ex-military. So I use my body weight as a form of weight and I have light weights. I think the highest pounds that I have is maybe 15 pounds. But a combination of that old diet and kind of sticking to that, you would be surprised when you get into it what is not allowed and what is allowed. For example, peanut butter. I noticed that I love me a good peanut butter and jelly sandwich with a glass of almond milk. Like, that's my jam. But I noticed that my stomach would feel like heavy layered, like it doesn't feel good at all, right? And I was thinking it was more maybe the bread really, but peanut butter, peanuts is a restricted thing on the diet, so is corn. um Girl, it is not allowed, girl. But here's what I do, right? Because it isn't, and if you pay attention to how you feel when you eat it, you'll notice it. Because it, to me, I don't digest it well. And I never have, but I still love them. So what I do is I get like an almond butter and I use agave. Agave is a healthy sweetener because almond butter is not very sweet, so it doesn't taste good on a sandwich unless you put a little agave in it, and then it kind of cures it. But it's very expensive too, so it limits. For me, it definitely limits how many peanut butter and jelly sandwiches I'll eat in a year because it is expensive. It's kind of like almost triple the amount of a jar of peanut butter. Well, that may be excessive, but at least double the amount. It's not cheap at all. Um, But it's interesting to learn the things that don't work and the things that do. And when you start eating the things that it says for you to do for weight loss, which that's how I use the guide, um, I felt better. My the elimination of waste was unreal. The way that it was cleansing my body, and that was even different from the plant based kind of lifestyle. And so, with adding beans and different, um, some date syrup this morning to put in my teas. Date syrup is good too. I mean, I like dates. That's like nature's candy. I like dates. But I love the agave because I make smoothies every day and I use this powder called amla powder, which is good for your blood. And I mean, it's good for, it's an Indian. Um, it's an amla, AMLA. It's an Indian fruit, really, and it has so many health benefits. I mean, from head to toe, top to bottom, inside out. It's an amazing, amazing super fruit, and they make it in the powder. And I also use it in I use it in a lot of different ways. But anyway, amla powder. If you research that AMLA, that is a good one too, especially if anyone has heart issues or blood pressure issues or anything like that. So, um, I just wanted to kind of bring that up about our diet and what we're doing to kind of stay in shape and if there's a weight loss journey that anyone is on and introduce the plant-based thing. I love that you are plant-based too, Jay. What have been some of the benefits that you like, some of the differences that you've kind of noticed with you being, plant-based that's different from you than eating the regular way? But while I was cooking my black eyed peas and I had some fresh pears, I was like, I'm gonna put these pears in here. It was bussin'. It gave me like that little salt sweet kind of thing. And I mean, I want to save the liquor and use it for something else or maybe make more beans or something because with me putting kale and pears um in there and all of those nutrients, like I don't want to get rid of the onion and celery, like all of those nutrients that's in that broth. I want to use the broth to make something else. I just don't know what I'm gonna, you know. So I'm gonna freeze it and come up with something. I don't know. I'll come up with something to do. Maybe as a base for a gravy or something. I don't know. And intermittent fasting. So, intermittent fasting has been a lifesaver for me, and a lot of people find it hard to stick to. But for weight loss, I'm telling you, when I'm disciplined, um, I mean, it doesn't even take many weeks. You start seeing a difference in a few days with intermittent fasting, and it is another thing that kind of flushes your system out. And so I'll give an example of I can tell you that I do better with intermittent fasting if I'm done eating by like 12 or 1 o'clock in the day. And the reason why I say that, I'm gonna pin your comment up here. The reason why I say that is because if I can stop eating really by noon and be really disciplined, for the rest of the day and drink my water and all of that, then I can get into a 24-hour fast really easily the next day. And so a 24-hour fast gets you into what they call autophagy. And that is when your body starts repairing cells, like repairing damaged cells and repairing your organs, and it starts working on itself. So the body is extremely amazing. It is insanely amazing in the type of machine that it is. And when I can close off my window by like 12 or 1, and then I don't eat the next day until about 3 or so, I can, if I'm disciplined and not like, I have the spirit of I'm gonna do if something just like popped in my mind that I wanted, ooh, honey, it's hard to turn it off. Um, but if I can be disciplined and I do it kind of like an every other day thing, the benefits are amazing. So let me read a couple of Jay's chats. I have been there super long, but I've had more energy, sleep better. I'm not bloated after I eat. I check my blood pressure every day and it's always normal. And it is a cleanser out of this world. You are exactly right, girl. And if you have a thing about the blood pressure, the AMLA powder, AMLA, and they sell it on Amazon. I put it in my smoothies. It is bitter. I mean, I'll drink it in water because I don't really have an issue with taste. My thing is like texture. So even if something doesn't taste very great, I can still drink it, but not everyone can do that. But I'll put it in my smoothies and add me a little bit of agave, and girl, Just look up the benefits of amla powder. You'll be amazed. Jay's next comment, I like fasting. I was trying to alternate day, but I'm able to intermittent fast better. It's the discipline part of it for me. And with intermittent fasting, in order for me to see the benefits, I need at least 18 hours. But and if I can stop eating, because I if especially if I have a really busy day and I can eat and close out my window by like 12:30, and I have a really, really busy day, and my afternoon, I just kind of really just end up going to bed a little bit earlier. But by me drinking water, what I'm really fighting is like cravings and wants. I really do not be hungry at all. And so if I can make it to sleep, even if I eat when I wake up in the morning, I still have a really good window, but most of the time I don't eat breakfast at all. So I can easily make into that 24-hour. And I said this week I'm gonna commit to um completely plant-based. Like I've really gotten away from like sugar stuff. I don't really have that anymore. It's a lot of things that I don't even want. Like I don't miss dairy, I don't miss cheese, like I don't miss those things at all. But if I can just kind of stick to strictly plant-based and maybe a little tuna here and there, but I really just want to do that all week and do really well with my fasting, and I'm gonna see where I am. Because when I got on the scale, I mean, I wasn't shocked because I can tell that I haven't put on weight or anything, but it just gave me like another fuel. Like, girl, really, 16 pounds, you can get that off like nothing. Because I've really, within the last 2 years, I would say in the last 2 years, I don't know exactly when I dropped all the weight, but I've lost about 40 pounds. And so for me to not be consciously, like just like on a conscious schedule, is just kind of a way of life for me to still be at a very manageable weight, less than what I thought I did. Then if I get focused and really like hunker down, I can hit that and be fine. So I'm going to push it this week. I'm going to hold myself accountable, and I'm going to push it this week. What's your next comment, Jay? Girl, you've done a 72-hour fast? That is huge. No, man. Girl, that is huge, Jay. That is huge. I can do a 24, maybe even get into a 36. Girl, I have not been able to make it through a 3-day fast. There was a time that I tried to do a 30-day green juice fast. And I can probably do it as a smoothie kind of thing. But I think around the 10th day I started to tank. I really struggle with just things that I want. Like, just it's not even a hunger thing or anything like that. It's just like things that I want. But intermittent fasting, I swear by it. Um, it's the bomb, really. I mean, I can't say enough about it. And that is that intermittent fasting piece, more so than the plant-based ish, because I call it like a plant-based ish kind of lifestyle. Um, because like it's not completely plant based at all. I really follow the O diet for the most part. But the intermittent fasting, more so over the diet change, is what got all the weight off. But the diet change just made everything so much more cleaner. So that was a good Sunday dinner chat. So you said you were making collard greens today. You got to give me that recipe today. I like to experiment how you cook your collard greens. Sometimes I'll just saute mine with some stuff, but anyway. All right, so let's move over into Love and Marriage Huntsville. I had a live schedule last night for Love and Marriage Huntsville, and I canceled it. I was like, ah. One thing I noticed, like, I haven't seen Maurice on there. I mean, I'm not really watching it. I missed last week. I don't know if you saw last week, Jay. I think you did. Um, but I guess Owen is kind of like cutting Maurice and Kimmy out since this. I had this thought, right? I don't know if they are, but since this lawsuit thing, because I really haven't even heard much about them in other people's reviews and stuff. So I thought that was interesting. Mel was on this episode. She looked really beautiful. I love the hair color for her and Nell. Like so pretty, so stunning. I was kind of disappointed that Mel only had just kind of like that quick scene with Nell. So it's like the rumors in the streets are really what is happening on this show. But two things that kind of stood out to me. Well, it may be three. The conversation with Marceau and Trisha's ex, I cannot think of his name. I will butcher a name. The not so ex-husband person. The conversation that he was having with him about him walking out on his family, I found that very interesting. Like he was telling him the truth, and it was refreshing to see him have a man-to-man conversation. Like, what did you expect? You walked out on your family. It also seemed like Marcel was taking it personal. And I think that, like their dad did the same thing to him and his brothers. I'm not really sure. But what I found interesting was one, he's really committed to being in the home with his children. And he and Tisha's, nuptials have been a question of the day for several years while this show has been on. And something that he said in his confessional, he said, you know, um, something like, people marry for love, or, you're in love and you expect to be with a person for the rest of your life. And, even if you don't like that person, you end up not liking them, you don't leave your children. Love kind of negates that. Like, love takes a back burner or whatever. You just stay. Basically, he was saying stay for the kids. And when he said that even if you don't like your spouse or you don't like them anymore, you just kind of stay. To me, it was just kind of like I mean, it really wasn't a light bulb moment because everybody has kind of noticed their interactions or whatever on the show. And I won't get into these people's marriage, but I just wonder if he was speaking more from a truth space versus just some, life advisement kind of thing. Um, this guy, his son is old enough to be driving, right? Because he said that the gentleman had bought his son a car, so he's got to be old enough to be driving. And it just makes me wonder how long has he been away? Because he said during COVID, he just kind of tanked. But what Trish is saying, he wasn't really there anyway. Um, And to me, it just seems like it's more of a pride thing for him, like the fact that he's in that home. But I don't know if I'm convinced that he really wants to be that involved. Because how hard can it be? Like, I don't see her keeping the children away from him or whatever. Um, so I thought that I would get, by him coming on, that I would get, a little bit of clarity around their situation. Um, and I guess the clarity that I got was it really was just him, and she moved on. And I guess, guys leave and they think because you have children that no one else will pick you up or whatever. And so he didn't expect that. I can't say that I'm interested to see how their story is going to work out because it wasn't that interesting. It really wasn't that interesting to me, but I can see why Trisha's, like, I can see why their situation is why it is, and that it's really true that, they're only not divorced because they don't have the paper signed. The piece about Trish being at Martell's home, I know it was during this time that she's with Chocolate Drop, or chocolate block, shall we call him? Because he's a big muscle guy. So he's not really a drop of chocolate. He's like a big old bar of it. Girl, they give me some questions about you, girl, but I'm just gonna pin it on up. But I'm not interested enough to see what is gonna happen with that. But I did find that kind of like, okay, I wonder how he would feel about that, and where was he when, now you're saying that Martell did invite you to the house, where Martell said you came to the house. So, were y'all in that kind of vicinity and you would have entertained it? I don't know, because I still get that this is a convenient relationship for her. I don't get that this is the love of my life kind of thing. I just don't get that. Um, Nell and her situation, and the kid saying that she needs therapy. I love the conversation that she and Mel had, and I loved how candid they can be. And how, Nell was in a safe space with Mel. Like she was saying, I know I have a terrible delivery sometimes, and I've even gone off on you. And Mel's like, you have. Yes, ma'am, you have. But whatever it was, their friendship survived that, right? And I don't know what the state of their relationship is now, but I love to see us on screens in any space. I love to see us to be able to support each other and hear each other out, even in the differences and all the energy that we, meaning people like me, can carry because of, sometimes our burdens are heavier than most. It just does something for me to see people have a healthy sister girl type conversation, because we don't get to see it often. You know, we the interest is to show us in some of the more volatile lights, and I don't disagree with that being on the screen, because I think that it's important to show it so that if you are journeying life in that way, you can kind of see yourself and make some changes. So that's the way I see like the negative piece of it, when we see the negative portrayals of us, Black women. She does need therapy. um, I I think the biggest issue that we have is so much of it, and it's not a balance. So it gives the impression like that is all that we are, and it isn't. Um, but it gives that impression, and that's where people get so frustrated. But I mean, I'm gonna say sometimes it gets hard for me to watch, and I don't tune into a lot of stuff because it just like irks my nerves. It really does. But I'm not one for pulling it all off the screen, because it's things that I see in real life all the time, and as we kind of get into these lives, I'll bring up topics like that. But so I like to see both sides of it, really. To see more of this type of stuff, just it does it for me. Because we also know, like, as far as male goes, I don't always agree with how Mel presents sometimes. There, and I haven't seen it lately, but I always support her because I know that she's healing, and that she is on her journey of life, and that she really wants to be the best version of herself, for everyone around her. And to me, everyone has been in those spaces, and we see the type of relationship that she's come out of. And so there's always grace, even if I don't quite always agree, and it's not often, but if I'm honest, I don't always. And, that's part of friendship and loving someone too. You're not going to always agree with their presentation. It's just how you respond and how you interact with them. So, getting back to her and Nell and this therapy thing, yes, she does need therapy. You right. We don't care what she say. We don't care what she say, girl. She needs it. And I get it. Like, I think for Nell, she's, of course, she's over the adult children and her money. I think she may have some experiences um where she remembers the money that she has kind of out there on the table, and whatever that experience would be easier if she had it back or if she stopped. I think that she tried to put her foot down and the kids go to Chris, and Chris, because she is a I mean, just for lack of a better term, a submissive wife. Like Chris truly is kind of like, if he, I think that if Chris told her to do something, even if she didn't agree, she would she would do it. Like even when I think back to that episode when Mel threw that drink at Martell when they were sitting outside Chris and Nell's home having that conversation. I mean, I'm sorry, Nell was even more docile in those moments than she is now. She's kind of come out of her shell, the matronly shell that she was in. She's kind of come out of that, but I see that dynamic in them. And so when she says that, I tell you what you should do and you don't do that, then you get into trouble and now I have to come and give you money. And I'm gonna be ticked about that, and yeah, I'm gonna be mad, and yeah, I'm gonna be, um, you know, aggressive or whatever. She didn't use the term aggressive. I'm just trying to put into context in what she was saying about her speech and her delivery. The thing is that for her, it's like, how I am, and this is the way that I am, and she justifies it by her emotions being correct, and that's not right. Um, you're right. I do. I believe you. You're right. Jay's view says I think she has some past traumas that she hasn't healed from because she goes from 0 to 100 real quick. She does. And I try not to speak on people's marriages and different things like that, but I know she's had plenty of experiences with Chris and all of that. Um, she runs a business, runs a daycare. She's a businesswoman. Anytime that you are in that capacity, there's pressure there, you know. She has these children, she's running a home, like she has a lot on her plate. So I think that her life can probably be a pressure cooker anyway, you know. On top of that, she's learned that communication style, and the dismissive part of it. We are often a representation of what we've learned. So she's been handled in that way, which is why she doesn't feel like there's anything wrong with it. Just take it. Because I believe that she kind of comes from that background anyway, where her feelings were not heard. And she had to just take it. So she's kind of transferring that on. I get what she's trying to say. But and I kind of understand her plight. Like I wouldn't be having this issue if you guys just listen, and now I'm ticked because I have to take for myself to help you, and you should have listened to me. And I think that the fact that she's willing to still help and has gotten herself into this money bag situation with her children kind of shows her heart for them and why she gets so frustrated, because it's hard for her to say no, because she could just say no instead of having these meetings and all of this kind of stuff and trying to implore them to do what they need to do and not bring it to her. She could just say no, but she doesn't do that. And I think that Dr. Francis was spot on about the softness of it all with her. Nell's problem is, even if the outcome is going to be the same, like, I'm not going to give you this money, you have to get some boundaries, she can still hear the kids out. And her patience is so short with that, she doesn't even hear them out. It's like, I don't even want to hear it. And she said it when she was talking to her son. You know, I hear what you're saying. I know what you're talking about. I don't want to hear it, because she's over it. And I get it. And that's why she need to be in therapy. She need to be in therapy so she can chill out and be able to listen, just for them to get their point out. Because like Dr. Francis said, like, you be talking about the money, girl. That money ain't whatever. You got people that's hurting over here. You know? Like, you hear her said that it just DIES, you know? They hurting. And so she's so focused on, I know that I'm right. I know what I'm saying is right, and y'all need to do. I don't give a damn about what you saying. For real, for real. Just do what I asked you and I wouldn't be in this position. She's not understanding that, you know, the conversation isn't landing. So why even have it if it's not going to land to where it will benefit everyone? So I was glad that they had this therapy session. Um, I got a little chuckle on when he told her to like say something, that you're proud about, for each one of them. I got a little chuckle at that because I think she only did it with the oldest son. Everyone else, she was just kind of begging for forgiveness because I think she felt a little sting and some accountability there on how her communication style is hurting her children. And I don't think that that's her intention. She's just trying to put her foot down and she's, stomping and screaming to do it because she also knows that she will give in and she's mad about that too. So, but I enjoyed it. I love what Dr. Francis said in the end, like use love to fertilize your children so they will grow. Cussing them out and cutting them down and all of that doesn't work. And so I love that message. Um, because it is also something that I've learned, like not that that's my communication style with my son, but I have learned that I'm sorry, it's the noise. Um, I have learned through experience that he especially in his teenage years, he responded more to a different type of delivery because I would get frustrated with him too. I mean, we all do with our children, but he responded better to a more loving um, delivery. And a lot of times it allowed him to kind of like he would get it just like that. It was more of creating a safe space instead of having him to have to defend himself really, to where he just gets it a lot quicker. And another thing is I've learned that he listens a lot more than I thought he did because he will regurgitate things now that where I didn't even think that he got. So sometimes their pride be in the way, especially with boys, their pride be in the way where they don't want to admit that they were wrong or want to admit that mom was right or whatever. So they kind of pretend like it's they still right, but they do be listening. So anyway, that's my thing with Love and Marriage Huntsville. I did notice that Maurice was he hasn't been on any episodes like in a minute. I think. I mean, not that I've watched all of them, but I think the last one may have been the one when they were talking to Martell in that kitchen. So did they edit some things out? Have On gotten rid of him? I haven't heard much in the streets about it, but I thought that was interesting. And then did you guys get a chance to watch Divorce in the Black? You haven't missed him. From Jay's View. I'm putting all your comments up here just because, I want people to see your channel too. You haven't missed him, girl. Don't nobody miss Maurice. I don't even really watch the show like that. I'm just tuning in for content purposes or when it's something that they preview that I may be interested in. But I definitely don't miss him. He was listen, when it came out at the reunion where Mel had did an interview and said he was irrelevant, I know that it's mean to do that, but I found it funny because it was spot on. She was speaking the truth. And sometimes that lady catch a lot of heat because she be just telling the truth. But girl, no, I have not missed him. Um, I mean, or anyone else. I can't remember if there's going to be something interesting next week, but I had to watch this episode in kind of two parts because I checked out a little bit. Anytime that I try to tune in, I check out. So, um, but that was Love and Marriage Huntsville. So, Divorce in the Black. I don't know if you guys have gotten to see it. If you haven't gotten to see it, it's a good movie. And the reason why I have it on here It's because I've seen some people, like Tyler Perry with another one of his black, you know, woman struggle movies, and like some of the, I mean, there has been a lot of support with the movie. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. You haven't yet. You have to see it, Jay. It's good. Um, I did an hour long review, like I did, and because I know a lot of people don't have Amazon Prime, so I did my review as if I didn't do like a tips kind of thing. Like I went through the movie with some horrible acting, but it's an hour long review, and there's a part. There's a part that's a little chopped up, girl. I spent 3 hours editing. I messed something up, and I just was like, "Screw it." They're gonna get this extra clip, so it's a double clip in there. But it's a great movie. It's a great movie. And I don't understand the negative commentary about it. Like it's really not a okay. It's really not a I loved it. Like I loved it. It was so much nostalgia in it for me. Her friend, that's her girlfriend in the movie. They've been friends for 17 years. She was such a good friend. Her parents were phenomenal. The storylines were great. I mean, you do get the time, the timing thing that Tyler Perry can have, where the timing may not make sense, but it was good. And Hardrick, however you say his name, he totally bodied that role. Making good, like every actor did really well in their roles. Like I thought it was a good movie. And so I'm not really getting the reason why I asked if you've seen it, because I'm not really getting the black woman struggle in this movie. I think it's quite the opposite. And I think it's real, like her story is kind of like real life kind of stuff. But I just didn't get that. So I was disappointed to see that, and it just looks like people just be looking for a reason to fight. Like even in this YouTube space, I get like I delete some comments. It's a couple comments that I've had to delete on my page because I can tell that the comments are not like I like a good debate. I love a different point of view. I know that I can watch things with kind of rose tinted glasses kind of thing. Like I know that about myself, and I ain't changing nothing about myself these days. This is just who I am, right? Um but I don't mind being challenged. I think that is great debates that come out of that. I don't have to be right all the time or anything like that. Like I'm giving things from how I see them, and I invite the commentary to come in and kind of challenge and tell me what's up, right? There is a girl that is one of my subscribers that I love her point of view. It's so real. She reminds me of a good friend. Like we've been friends since the ninth grade, and I love it, right? But I can also tell when someone is coming in being very argumentative, almost as if, like for instance, with Sisters, that they don't want the show to be reviewed. Like it's such a horrible show. It's taking a terrible turn. It's this, da, 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 right? And I just see it as kind of like real life. And sometimes people have a hard time looking at stuff that be going on real. Sometimes it's hard to see. So just even in that, I said all that to say that even in this space, I see that people like to be negative. They like to like start stuff. They want to argue with people. It's one thing to have a healthy debate. It's another thing to come off as attacking and that sort of a thing. And so I'm seeing that in the commentary about this movie. And the movie was a good movie. Um the scenes, like it wasn't all shot in Tyler Perry's home. Like you can tell that there was some effort in putting this project together, and I appreciated it. I'm probably going to watch it again tonight. Because this little country life thing that's speaking to my heart. I'm a country girl at heart. I'm from Alabama, and I've been in the city of Atlanta. I moved back to Atlanta from Germany. I moved back in 2001, the end of 2001. And I'm tired of the city, if I'm honest. So I see myself being on some land somewhere and living, or at least having that space to escape to. So it was speaking to my heart, but it was a good movie. I hope you enjoy it. Definitely check it out. I don't know if you had time to kind of look at my review, girl, because like I said, I've never done an hour-long review. So that's something that may have to be chopped up. But I had fun with it. I had fun with the movie, and I just wanted to see if people were watching it. I think it deserves support. So Megan Good did good too. She was very beautiful. She still looks very young and youthful. I don't know what she does for her skin, but her skin is always amazing. So I enjoyed it. Um, and that's really all that I have. That's really all that I have for this live. Just, kind of to pop in and talk about some things. And my vision is to be able to introduce topics, and we kind of pick up the phone by inviting people to come up and talk about it and really get into some dialogue and some point of views, and really really get into some things. And with that, then we'll continue to grow as a people, and just kind of put some things out there that can be beneficial to our culture. You're gonna watch it after you finish what you're doing. You still ironing, Jay? Ah, probably. Anyway, it's your girl Duchess. I hope you guys appreciated this live. Oh, I said I was gonna work on the present thing. Okay, so you said present, show screen. Oh, you done? Okay, I'm gonna try this presenting thing. Okay, so share screen. Oh heck, I don't have nothing. Okay, here we go. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna share. Do you see that? Sharing a window. Okay. Uh oh. Uh oh. Uh oh. Uh oh. Wait. Oh, it worked. Oh, but I'm showing some. Oh my goodness. Girl, what am I showing? Okay, stop sharing. Oh, that tickled me. Girl, that is not what I clicked on. At least I know I can do it. Okay, I'm gonna try one more time. Let me see. So I guess you should kind of prop it up. Let me see what I got going on. It showed that screen. This is fun. This is fun though. All right, so let's see. Take what are we gonna put up here? We'll put Prime Video up here. Oh, this is good. Okay, I'm gonna put Prime Video up here. Okay, let me go back. Not me doing a tutorial. It's okay. At least you know how to do it. I'm gonna try one more time. So, all right. So share screen, window. This one. Share. This movie, The Chosen, or whatever this is, I might want to get into that tonight. And this one, The Keeper and the Boys. I think I may get into that soon. Um, Girl, it's working. Oh yes, ma'am. Okay. Yay. Y'all ain't gonna be able to tell me nothing. Anyway, that was fun. I don't know who else is in here. There's two people watching, but I only got one person in the chat. At least say hello. I like to know who's out there hanging out. Jay, my girl, I so appreciate you always supporting me. Um, I love seeing when you pop in. It just feels like I have a person from home or something, like just a little bit support. So, I appreciate you so much. And of course, I'm going to continue to support you. And, everyone on YouTube, if you made it this far, say hi to From Jay's View. She is a content creator on YouTube. She also be putting up some cooking stuff and recipes and things and things. She has a banana pudding that I want to try. She's a pretty cool girl. So, we like to support each other. At From Jay's View, I appreciate you so much for showing up for me. And I am going to check out your live from today so I can make sure I get you that support. Jay, girl, you after my own heart. I so appreciate you, girl. I so appreciate you. All right, it's your girl Duchess. I felt better with this live this time, y'all. I felt like I grooved a little bit better, so we'll get even better at it. We got 3 people watching now. Yay! I wish you guys would say hello, but I understand. And just know that we want to get to a place where I can invite you up. You don't have to be on camera. Um, and just really kind of chop it up and have a good time and enjoy our evening. Next week I'll probably do it at about 7. Thank you, Jay. um thank you. It's settling my spirit to maybe start this a little bit later because I'm always kind of rushing to get myself together when I'm doing it. So I may do it at like maybe 6:37 next week. Jay, let me know what you think and what your schedule's like, girl, because I can't lose my one viewer. And I'll keep it the same if that doesn't work for you. This our channel, girl. Anyway, I thank you so so much. I appreciate the support and definitely appreciate all the love and support on my channel. It's only up for here, and I have a lot of things planned for us. So I hope you guys enjoy the content. And girl, we're gonna be so silly. Jay's got me cracking up. Um, I do hope you guys enjoy the content. I'm always welcome and open to feedback. So pop in the comments and let me know what you think. Keep your girl on your toes. I'm not sensitive in that area at all. Intermittent fasting and the O diet. Jay, I'm gonna send you that email by midweek. I promise. And give you all the information because I've already written it down. I thank you so much. Y'all have a good evening. I'm out.